Okay, another nice thing to do is just kind of hold the feet and traction, and if you press your legs onto the table, and then you lean back and bring their legs with you and just kind of like rock your lower body and let your arms follow. So rocking your lower body and letting your arms follow. So your arms aren't doing this, they're just following your lower body. And it's a big difference. If I tried to do this, do you feel a difference between that versus like I've got my legs pressed up against the table and I'm just rocking my lower body? So try that. And this establishing connection matters. Also, another key point where you can press is right here at the crease of the ankle. So pressing there is so nice. It brings energy down through like the entire body. And then if you wanted to, you could kind of press along the spine line, the medial aspect of the foot, and you do that by just sinking your body down, keeping your arms straight, and you bring pressure to your thumb by leaning your body into it. So bringing pressure by leaning your body into it. And you're doing great back there with tuck's head with the verbal compressed. I see you. Okay. And Robert, are we okay to get started, or?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't tell, you look a little.
Oh, it's just not cooperating. It's okay. But one of them is recorded.
Okay. All right. And if you wanted, then just move to 1 foot at a time, so you can support at the heel and then over the dorsal surface. That kind of feels good. Tractioning that hip. So I probably could, but I don't think it's overstating this to say that establishing connection and just showing the client that they're supported, and having, whether it's lighter pressure or deeper pressure, having pressure that is secure is really important, you know? And also so they feel like it's secure, but you also feel like if you changed anything that you, the client, would be in control of it, you know? So, all right, and then we can kind of knead the foot a little bit. All these things are part of Thai massage. I want you guys to know that like all of that's part of Thai massage, and that within that context and style that there's a lot you can do. But one of the things that is really part of Thai massage is using your body as a unit, you know? So your arms are an extension of what's going on with your lower body. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin. Begin after our beginning. So we're going to go ahead and press 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, straight at the heel on both legs. 1, sinking in, and all body weight coming from your lower body, extending into your arms. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Pause for a moment at that maximum depth before you come back out of it, so that it feels like a breath with a pause. And then we're going to rock side to side, so walking up the feet. Yeah. Side to side, beautiful. And then we're going to start moving up the legs. So we could do what Samantha was doing and actually get up on the table, which is totally fine and legit, and what they would actually do in Thailand. Or we can just even out the pressure and walk to the side of our client. And then we can do circles at the knees. And when I say circles at the knees, my fingertips are really outside the patella, and I'm kind of working more with the fascia and with the quads there and with the tendons and musculature around the patella. I'm not actually taking the patella and moving it, because that would feel pretty intimidating to most people, you know, wouldn't it? Yeah, so it's just kind of around it. I'm doing a little circle and pressing in and moving the skin. And it's actually a lot like what you guys do with those detox circles in the abdominal massage, okay? And then you may want to put one knee up onto the table if you're standing to the side, and we're gonna walk up on the quads. Okay. And make sure to stay out laterally so that the center of your palm, and really more like the thenar eminence, is just medial to the ASIS, you know? So your thenar eminence is right up against their ASIS. And then we're gonna go ahead and slide down, just slip down to that inguinal ligament, so medial and inferior just a little bit. And then you probably do need to be up on the table for this, to go ahead and press down on that inguinal ligament. You'll need to watch the time for yourself because we're all slightly different times here, but you want to stay here about a minute. Is that too much pressure? Are you okay?
No, that's good.
Okay. And you want to feel, your client actually should feel some resistance and a little bit of pressure build. If someone has high blood pressure, if they have anything that's kind of abnormal issues with blood or circulation, then we may not want to do this, this arterial compression, because we are increasing blood pressure and getting it to flush down through the limbs. All right, let's stay. Let me stay just 5 more seconds here so that she can feel it. Okay, and then I'll slowly release, and then make sure to not touch your client so that they can actually feel it. Could you feel it? Mm-hmm. Okay. We're gonna come back down, start on their left foot, and we're gonna go ahead with our left hand, and it's really nice to be able to traction. This will help you a lot, Rachel, to push up against the table with your quads. Plus it's good, we get a little compression there, So, and that will be good for our knees, yeah. So pressing against the table there and then tractioning back. And we're holding on to the heel, calcaneus and the Achilles tendon with our left hand. And then with our right hand, we're gonna cross over and we're going to go ahead and twist out. That 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. You guys look great and really good posture and body mechanics. And I think this will be really nice for you guys to do in clinic, I'll try and send out another email and switch hands to all the clients with the $10 off, and maybe even say, ask for table tie, if you guys want. Okay. And then while we're here, let's go ahead and keep that traction and let's just do some circles. So hold on with your left hand, and then with your thumb, you're gonna press forward, dorsiflexing the foot, and then we're going to kind of push back and plantar flex back and forth. Plantar and dorsiflexion. One direction, then let's do that in the other direction. Okay, so circles, okay? And then if you wanted to, you could kind of go ahead and press that foot down, pointing the toes. So plantar flex the foot, and then you can take your thumb and just kind of massage all along that line by the crease of the ankle. Okay. It's a really important acupressure point. It's called stomach 41 in Chinese medicine. And then in Thailand, the acupressure points, they're grouped by treatment protocols. So you just memorize like each treatment protocol without the names. It's a different style. So if any of you have interest in that, make sure to look at the Thai acupressure book right there, and you can see the groupings by disorder. Okay. Let's go ahead and switch feet. We'll hold on with our right hand, traction back, press your legs against the table, and then we're gonna go ahead and twist that medial aspect with our left hand. That looks really good. Yeah, you guys look really good. I think for a lot of you, table time might be a good option. Yeah. And then go ahead and switch hands, twisting 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And Lauren, make sure and tell me if anything is too much or uncomfortable, or if you want more, okay? Yeah, okay. Okay, and then let's go ahead and hold right here by the ankle, and we'll just, and I like to, when I'm doing these rotations, I like to actually kind of press into the Achilles tendon and also that stomach 41 point, and go ahead and just do some circles. And again, this was with our whole body. You guys have got that. I can see everyone's got that principle. That looks great. And then moving in the other direction. Yeah. Good, and then we can place that foot right down and just kind of go ahead and flex that foot. And we'll go ahead and just do a little bit of massage along the crease of the ankle, that stomach 41 point. Hi. So, we'll figure something out. Okay, and are you guys okay with that? Okay. All right. Okay, okay, cool. Okay, thanks for being flexible. It's interesting, you always seem to say the word that, for those types of descriptions, that connects with what you're doing, you know? It's kind of funny, like, take a shot at the police department. Thanks for being flexible in Thai massage. Okay, so go ahead, traction, and then go ahead, take your left hand and lift that left ankle. With your right hand, go ahead and hold under the popliteal space and bring that leg up into a figure 4. And then go ahead and place your left leg up onto that, kneel onto the table just a little bit. You could still be on your tippy toes over here with your right foot, and we're gonna compress down over just superior to both of the knees, to the patellas. So your right hand is obviously walking up the adductors, and your left hand is gonna be walking up the quads. It's a nice little hip opener. We're gonna go ahead and walk up. Walk all the way up to the ASIS. And just like you, Sam, I actually like getting all the way up on the table. Yeah, yeah. I still think for those of you that we're not used to being on the mat that long, that this gives you the opportunity to go back and forth, and for it not to be such a big change from what you normally do with your bodies. You know? Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and we will sit on the table. And we're going to take our right foot, place it just superior to the popliteal space on the hamstrings. And we'll take our left foot and we're going to do the presses. Do you like a lot of pressure?
Right there I do.
So are you cool with this?
Yeah.
Like, okay. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, dividing the space we're working on into thirds. You do, you always look very, very young. Tell me your mom's name again, sorry. Michelle, okay. And that's my sister's name. I should remember that, yeah. You always look very young, but today you look even 10 years younger. So you always look like 25, but today you look 15. I know it's good.
Oh, I wish.
So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's really cute. Is this your daughter, Kaylee? Okay, and then bring. Totally. So go ahead and bring your client's foot out, and we'll just be walking on the hamstrings. It's so interesting because, like, today, everything is very PC, politically correct. So even as a woman, I feel like a little bit nervous giving a compliment. You know, sometimes like, oh, but my neighbor today, so go ahead and cross their leg over your leg. My neighbor today, he said to me as I was getting in my car, I've known him for a long time, like 8 years, and he is actually not creepy, but he did not get the memo on political correctness. So we're gonna go ahead and reach over onto our client's quads and then just walk. And so I was bending over in my car and he drove by in his van and he goes, wow. And I'm like, hey, wow, what? You know, like, and he stopped, he goes, just want to thank you for bending over. And I kind of thought about like setting it straight, but I know him and I know that it's actually innocent and he just did not get the memo. He's like, I just like to make people smile. And I'm like, well, that's sweet. You do. You made me smile. Okay, take your left hand and we're gonna do loose fist Popeman. But it is kind of funny when someone, like they are, in that case, super innocent, but just did not get the message that that's not, we don't do that anymore. You know, like, I know, like, okay, go ahead and bring the leg up, heel close to the glute. And then we're gonna kneel by our client's foot. We're gonna stack our arms and then just lean back. And hopefully you'll feel a stretch through your back. So really, really stretch through your back and allow this to be an also isometric exercise for you, you know? It's gonna give you a lot of strength, you'll have really great back muscles. Just know that that's what you're doing when you're doing this, okay? And we're also helping our clients. Okay, go ahead and release, and then bring the foot towards you. And we're gonna do cross pull. So just back and forth, making sure we're tractioning the leg. So check in with your client and make sure they feel that traction through their leg. And when they feel that traction through the leg, you're also going to feel that contraction through your back. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah, is it hot, you guys?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, because you guys you're still new to it. I'm like, Thai massage is the easiest, most relaxing massage. And I don't know how anyone is actually sweating. Okay, I'll turn it down. It's actually 72 right now, but I will turn it down to 68. Okay.
68?
Mm-hmm.
72 right now and I'm sweating.
Yeah, but part of that is because it's so dang hot outside that there's this like residual effect. Okay, so when we last left our client, so cross pull. So now we're gonna go ahead and just squeeze, interlace your fingers and we'll squeeze 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Do you want to, Ashley, do you want to go see if Shay's still in the Ashi bar? And if she is, go get the Dyson fan, the one that's really good. And we can put it in here because that'll give us some airflow for everyone. Okay, and now we're going to bring their foot a little more to us. And we're going to go ahead and we will press into their hamstrings. Okay, so you guys, if you want to sit like this, if you want to sit to the side, you could even kind of have their foot underneath your hamstrings, so underneath your leg, and you could just lean in this way. And that would allow you to not be putting pressure on your knees if your knees are bothering you. Yeah, if your knees are bothering you. And like the yogic thing, if it's not accessible to you, you can sit in a more accessible way. Yeah. But you might want to try it just so you can feel what that's like. Okay, and then the next one, we're gonna go ahead and stack our hands like this, and we're gonna lean back and just walk. Gastrocnemius. Yeah. Does that feel a little bit better? Yeah.
I felt the rush of blood go down a little bit.
Okay.
I must have been cutting something off.
Yeah. So I think right now it's better for you to sit like this. Okay. And then next we're gonna interlace our fingers and we're gonna squeeze. Did you try this too, Cassie? Try. Okay, yeah, try. Anyone who's having, Shay, thank you so much. I love you, Shay. You're amazing. It's like you have the Holy Grail by having that fan. Let's put it, we can put it in the back of the room and just let it kind of come up through everyone. It oscillates.
Should we put it like here in the middle?
Yeah, that's great. Sure. Okay, so now we're going to squeeze gastrocnemius and soleus. Is that too much pressure on your foot?
That's awesome.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Following that 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 pattern. 2, 1. Thank you. Oh, and we even have an extra table to put it on if we want. Oh,
It doesn't reach the cord over there.
okay. Well, I put it in the back before and it reaches the entire room. And everything feels good. While you're here, if you want to do a little bit of work around the knee, just find any place where there's a little depression or where you kind of are drawn to intuitively and kind of get in those little grooves and just press in there. That's going to feel amazing to your client. You feel those little grooves, and those are all going to be little pressure points. Yeah. So I love that, you know, in this program, we all learn very specific anatomical structures and the muscles and the tendons and the fascia, all those things. But it's also really important to be able to know all of that and then just work intuitively and be able to feel those different sensations. Massage therapists, we palpate for a living. We're the best palpators in the entire world, all the professions. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and move into our stretches, okay? So you can, if you want to, you can move their foot to your hip, and it's gonna be so it'll be your right hip in this case, but it's the one that's more outside. I have seen people, if their table's up high, I've seen people bring the leg up here, but I like to keep the table down low. So we're gonna go ahead and press on the straight leg, which is their right leg. And we're gonna go ahead and lunge forward. 1, coming back out of that, pressing in a second spot on that straight leg. 2, is this enough of a stretch for you?
Yeah.
Okay, if you want more, let me know. Okay. And if you want less, let me know too. And then move to the next place, right above the patella. 3. Can everyone hear okay back there? Okay. And feel the fan. That fan's amazing, huh? Come back. And then back to that center place. 2. And then back to your original starting place. 1 with your press. So we're mostly focusing on our lunge, and we are just doing a little bit on the press. Okay? 10 to 20% on the press, and 80 to 90% on the lunge. Okay? All right, so the next one in the class, some of the classes we did butterfly, so we'll do that now just so you remember that's an option. So butterfly and lunge forward. So we're pressing on the bent leg on the hamstrings. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. She's doing, as everyone can see, she's doing tucks in the back. Yeah, do it with confidence. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it is, tucks in is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, continuously. Good. And now we're going to go ahead and bring their leg out, and we're going to kind of aim that knee towards their armpit. Okay? And we'll press on the adductors and the hamstrings. And then center press. Is everyone doing okay with staying up if you want to? Staying at the same pace I am, if you're wanting to follow along?
This was bothering her, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
3. This is an optional workshop, so I'm going to let you do whatever you want over there. If you want to just practice something else, you can. But if you want to follow along on the table, it's a good opportunity to do that right now. Okay, so the next one, we're going to sweep that leg around so that their knees pointed towards their opposite shoulder. We're going to take our left hand and flip our fingertips up, holding onto the calcaneus. And if you want, you can bring one knee. I'll usually put my right knee right here, or get up on the table completely like Sam is. And we're going to go ahead and just press on the hamstrings and push that heel out. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And if I really wanted to be up where I should be for leverage, I'd be on the table or have a much lower table. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so now we're moving to half split stretch. So we're going to bring their leg out, hold at the heel, and we're going to press just above the popliteal space on the hamstrings and adductors, and we're going to go ahead and lunge forward. 1, good guys, 2. And if I wanted to support my client's other leg, so if I did just to give her a little security and keep her there, I could put my left foot against her leg. 3, 2. Is that enough of a stretch for you, Lauren?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, and now we're going to bring their leg in front of us, keeping that knee straight. We may want to support under the popliteal space as we bring their leg down. We're going to cup their heel, calcaneus, with our left hand. And then we're going to make sure that the plantar surface of their foot is firmly against the flexors of our forearm. Okay. We're going to turn our right fingertips out and be in a lunge. So our right leg is going to be lunging forward. And we're going to go ahead and press and bring our arm with us, dorsiflexing her foot. And stretching what? Yeah, gastrocnemius. 1, 2, and we're actually flexing the tibialis anterior. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then go ahead and walk to the bottom of the table and just do a little bit of traction, shaking, that connection. And then we're gonna take the other leg and do all those again, okay? So moving them into figure 4. Compression in that figure 4, and then walking up.
Might be a little bit ticklish right here. Just
Okay. If I go,
you should be okay. You were okay the last time
Okay.
you did it, so.
it's hard once that, once it's established, the person's ticklish, and then
Yeah.
there's like the worry about tickling them, and then we're all thinking about tickling. It's hard to not tickle at that point. there's like a
Right?
tickle. There's a tickle energy.
The psyche of it, yeah.
I know. And then compression when you get back to just above the knees. Good, you guys. And then go ahead and sit down. We're going to wrap their leg around our left foot. And we're going to do compressions, finding 3 places that we want to press, dividing our space into thirds, and pressing in that 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 pattern. Okay. One, two, three. So some of you weren't here before, so while we're doing this, I just want to say that Rocio sent out an email about some upcoming prana trips. And there's a camping trip to Lake Powell, and then we're going down to Sedona to do a sweat lodge. And then there's a meditation and backpacking trip. And then there's some of these types of workshops. So make sure that you look at it and you sign up. And then especially for the backpacking and meditation stuff and the sweat lodge, because we only have room for 10 people in each of those. And we're gonna find some space to do them again. But if you really want to do that, I suggest signing up as soon as possible. Okay? Go ahead and bring their leg out, and we're going to walk on the hamstrings. And there's no charge to those. There is kind of like you bring your own food. And in Sedona, we're going to a really nice restaurant after the sweat lodge. So you could choose to just not go to the restaurant, but it's I don't know, if you want to go to it, it's between 20 and probably 40 for their entrees. It's so worth it. You have a whole weekend, just bring your $20 to $40 and go to the nice restaurant, because we're paying for everything else. It'll be great. Okay. Okay, Kaylee. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and now move our left foot out, wrap their leg around our right foot, lean forward, and we're going to pull their leg towards us. Everything nice tight, so we get a nice compression on those hamstrings, right in those attachments by the knee. And then walking to the hip, and then walking back to the knee. Go ahead and hold onto the knee, support it with your left hand, and then loose fist to Popeman with your right hand. Good. Awesome. Okay, let's go ahead. Move your foot out, and we're gonna bring their knee up. So decide what you want to do. Do you want to sit on the side of the table, or do you want to get up and kneel on the table? It's up to you. But be respectful of your knees and where you're at and how you feel. And we're gonna go ahead and cross our arms and lean back. There's this guru from the 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s, named Osho. And he used to do meditations where everything was about like loving and showing respect for each part of your body, you know? And they were really sweet. So I think there is a lot of value in that, just showing respect and having gratitude for each part. So respect your knees. If your knees need to, be adjusted, yeah. And then when you feel like your knees need a growth opportunity, get really good at knowing the difference, right? Okay. So then cross pull. Cross pull. Hello. Yes. There aren't. You could do it without today. You know how to do it, right? I mean, I saw you. That's a little bit sad, but I feel like I should shower you with herbal compresses now somehow. Okay. Did you get to take your herbal compress home?
I didn't, no.
So it's because you weren't feeling well.
I think she Kara
Okay.
might take it home.
I'm gonna give you some supplies for an herbal compress, okay? That I'll bring to class for you. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And then go ahead and bring the leg out a little bit more. And we're gonna go ahead and press on that center line of the hamstrings. Make sure you have a nice straight back and that you're really feeling like you're purposefully contracting certain muscles in an isometric way and also stretching your body. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Because if you do that, this profession will just make you healthier and healthier, you know? All right, let's go ahead and stack our hands, and we're gonna go ahead and lean back, and then walk, applying compression, you're pulling back on gastrocnemius and soleus. And then walking back up. You guys look great. Beautiful, beautiful Thai massages that you're giving. And then, it's true, yeah, really nice to see. It's really nice to see. And then interlace your fingers. And we're gonna go ahead and keep your thumb with your fingers. Keep the whole family together for this, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and press, squeezing that gastrocnemius and soleus, and just pausing for a moment with that press, and then slowly releasing. Is that pressure okay? Okay. Press, squeezing that gastrocnemius and soleus away from the tibia and fibula. And squeezing. Wendy, really engage your muscles. So engage your back and don't let any like sinking happen. You know. Okay, good, beautiful. Nice strong movement so you can stay strong. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. All right, so now we move into our leg stretches. So go ahead and step down. And we're gonna go ahead and bring our client's foot out to our left side. You could, it just doesn't fit that well on the right side. It's just not stable, you know, on this side. So their foot is not as stable right here. I guess you could kind of put it mid your body, you know, right your stomach, but that feels a little bit maybe invasive to them. Can you feel the energy of that?
Yeah.
Like compared to being right here? Does that feel like more of a boundary?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it does matter. So left side, right above your hip, feels like a stable, kind of more boundaried, but more relaxing move. So we're gonna stretch. It's towards their sternum, yeah. And if that's not comfortable, we can go out a little bit too. So we're gonna go ahead and press on the straight leg. So it's just pressing on the straight leg. Your table might be a little bit high for you. Yeah, so in the future you'll know, this will be good because you'll know to lower it. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Yeah, it's probably worth it for you to lower it. 1, 2. 3. 2. And then 1. How are you guys feeling so far? Because everybody looks really competent. You guys, everyone looks like your posture's amazing. The movements look really good. They look like full stretches. Okay. All right, butterfly. If you guys want to do that one, I'm gonna bring your arm out just a little bit. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And is everyone okay on temperature now? Does that feel better?
So much.
Good. We just need some airflow, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, and then 1. Okay. And then we're going to bring the knee to the armpit, pressing on the adductors and also the hamstrings. And if we want to, we can bring our right leg up and support their leg. With that 1, 2, 3, 2, 1 pattern. Every time we lunge, we're moving our hand, so my right hand in this case, to a different place. I've divided the space, the hamstrings, into thirds.
Are you lifting the foot up also, or are you just keeping it pressed to go this way?
I'm just keeping it pressed. I'm not lifting it up at all. Yeah, I'm just lunging forward. Yeah. Good question. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Good, you guys. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and sweep that leg across. Really make sure that movement comes from the hip. Their hip can be off the mat just a little bit. And I'll usually kneel on the mat with my right leg now. And I might even get up fully on the mat. And then I'm going to go ahead and press down with my left hand and then lift right here by the heel. We want our fingertips up. We don't want to be grabbing the heel at all. We want that energy going up and out. That subtle difference matters. So feel if I was doing this versus that suggestion of freedom. It also allows you to respond to your client so they're still in charge of the session, you know? So you can change things and adapt things very quickly and very gracefully. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And those of you that have been doing a lot of Eastern body work, like you know that from how to do that, how to, if it's too much for someone, you don't, you would never just like let go of them and drop the energy. And I'm so sorry for doing that to you guys. Because it's even in the context of showing it's not nice to do to someone, you know? But you would be like this is too much pressure, and then this is the right amount. And if she wants less, I'd be like, so is there good? Do a little bit less? So that it's, yeah. And you know that from the practice too. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Have you guys all felt that when someone, a therapist, is insecure or they overreact to your reaction as a client and kind of just like back off too much, you know? And you're like, oh no. Has anyone felt that? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So know that to the client they feel they like kind of feel abandoned, and they may not be able to process it, but it's a feeling of like they were just completely dropped, and now they really are like now they really don't trust, and they really do feel insecure in the session. So, all right. So now we're going to bring that leg out for half splits, and press on the hamstrings. The cool thing is when we find out that like we've done something before, it's and we're going to change it, that's always good news, you know? It's good, now we know. Also, if we don't view it as good news, it's going to be really hard to change, you know? Okay, so now we're going to keep a little bit of tension in their leg as you bring their leg in front of you, so that that knee doesn't fold too much, and then support their knee as you bring it down. Holding the heel, we're gonna have plantar surface of their foot against the flexors of our forearm, left fingertips out, and we're gonna lunge forward, bringing our arm with us. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Do you guys need a restroom? Yeah. Do you, here, take these keys so that you can go into, I'm sorry, Lauren, I'm glad we know each other. If this were a real session. Thanks. And not a class. The rules would be different. The rules of engagement would be slightly different. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay, good job, you guys. So that was pretty fast, huh? Okay, so arms, we're gonna come up to the arms, and I'm gonna go ahead, even though this is her right side, I'm gonna start here first just so I can look at you guys while we do this, so I'm not turned away from you. But I recommend that you start on the left side. But you know what, actually, why don't you start on the side where you're facing me? Let's just do that too right now. Okay, we're gonna compress by the shoulder and by the wrist.
So do we have the arm down or up?
Just keep it by their side the whole time. So you're just gonna keep it by their side, and then
Palm up?
Palm up, yeah. So supinated hand, working on the flexors. Good save. And now we're gonna go ahead and walk.
So we're doing both the upper and lower.
Yep. So the arm work that you guys learned in the Thai massage class, and it's the same as our mat Thai work. So we're gonna walk to the elbow twice.
And so our hands are out like this.
They're out like that for this. As I come close to the elbow though, I do turn my fingertips towards them. So I turn them the other way. And then we're gonna walk together to the wrist. We're gonna press the heel of our right palm into the heel of their palm, and then we're gonna lift up underneath the wrist with our fingertips of our left hand. Okay? And now we're gonna go ahead and walk that send line, so walking that center line. Up the center of the forearm, and then we're gonna go between the bicep and tricep. So you guys should know that even in Thailand, between the different schools, they'll have slightly different locations of these send lines. Just very, very slight. But I want you to know that so that you're not confused when you see that. Okay? And it's interesting because when we reference Chinese medicine, there's this idea too, a similar thing where you find exact acupressure points, but what you're really looking for is, my pronunciation is wrong, but it's called like Diki. So it's a very special form of chi, of like, you've got that point. So then walking, and it's gonna be a little different for each person. So walking from the wrist up to the shoulder. And then back down. Okay, and then traction that wrist. So while we're here, why don't we go ahead, we'll interlace our fingers with our client's fingers. So our pinky fingers are by their middle finger, and our ring fingers are in the next space. And we're gonna bring their hand back down to the mat, and we'll just do a little bit of sliding with our thumbs. Just sliding. Does everyone remember this from class? Okay. Sliding. Good. And if you guys wanna do a little bit of polka dot pressing. And let's go ahead and turn that hand over, and we'll knead the hand. So pressing your fingertips into their palm and just gliding. Is that pressure okay? Yeah. Okay, you're welcome. And then if you have enough oil between the two of you, because it's going to depend. In Thailand, they don't use oil in these massages or lotion, but we're in a very dry climate, so I think I said this before to everyone, so if you feel like you need to use a little bit for working the hands, the feet, things like that, go ahead and use it, because they naturally have all that moisture there. So we're just going to work each of the fingers, just like you would in reflexology, or even your Swedish massages. You know, there's some crossover. And then of course, if you wanted to, you could do everything that you learned in reflexology. So you could also get between like the webbing, okay, each of the metacarpals. Thank you, Wendy. Thanks. I'll open the Ashi bar as soon as we're done. So that.
I left it open.
Yeah, oh, okay, great. No, that's perfect. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I think room number 7 might still be unlocked because I went and grabbed the bed.
Okay, thanks. Table, we say table. I know, like.
And at my house, I have it set up in the little boys' room, and he just calls it just another bed.
A bed, I know. We say table. I know they say hospital beds and stuff, but it's a nice, you know, when you work this closely with the body, it is important to have some boundaries and some symbols, you know, so. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put the arm back down, and we're gonna do the same compressions and walking that we did before. This time we're working on the extensor side. And so the hand is, palm is down. It's pronated. Yeah. And then we're gonna go ahead and walk to the wrist. And then walking that send line with our thumbs. So the first part of it is right up the center of the forearms between the musculature. You can kind of feel those little grooves. And then when we get to the elbow, cubital region, we're gonna be kind of aiming for that deltoid tuberosity. Does everyone know where that is? That right like where your deltoid feeds in your arm. Yeah. So aim for that and walk up, and then walk back down. Okay, it's perfect. And then we're going to walk. That looks great. Yeah, yeah. Well done, by the way. I'll update your grade, okay? Good job doing all that. Thanks. And it looks like you're feeling a lot better. I'm really glad to see that. Okay. Yeah. Well, totally. I appreciate you doing it. That was really cool. Good job. The Thai massage stuff? Uh-huh. They're great. Yeah. Yeah, and if you're interested in the prana trips, sign up. Those are so fun.
Christina actually has signed up for some of the ones in co-op.
Okay, cool. Oh, good. Okay.
So I think we signed up for a couple, but I'll have to
Okay,
look
good.
at it.
Okay.
Sophia sent out, I think.
Okay, awesome. Sounds good. All right, so now we're gonna bring their elbow, so bend their elbow, and we're gonna bring their hand up, and we're gonna take our thumbs and we're gonna slide, so support the back of their hand with your fingertips, and we're gonna slide with our thumbs through the thumb and the pinky, and then come back to the center, the heel of the palm, and slide up through the next two fingers. And then supporting the dorsal surface of the hand and that center finger, we're going to slide up to that center finger. Good job. Now let's take their hand and we're going to bend their elbow, bring their hand by their head, fingertips pointed out laterally. We're going to go ahead and press on the triceps and also just on their leg, or you could press by the hip. And we're just going to give them a nice little counter stretch for a second. And we just do that for a few seconds, and then we're gonna bring our left leg up onto the mat, with our knee bent, and place their arm over our leg. Perfect, that looks perfect, Melissa. And then we're gonna go ahead and just press with our right hand, the back of the arm, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Dividing the space that we decide we're working on into thirds. You could just leave it there and I'll put it away. Thank you. I appreciate you like doing it and wanting to do that though. That's super cool. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Okay, have a good Friday night. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, that's awesome. Thank you. Oh, I think she's gone. You can just leave it there. Yeah, and I'll take it back. And then who's your friend that came with you?
This is Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia.
She lives in Alaska.
Oh, very cool. Well, welcome to Utah.
So she's
Thanks.
visiting, so I was like, can I give you a massage? And she says,
She's like, yes. Very cool. Thank you for coming in. Bye, you guys. Have a good night. Okay, and then just kind of shake the arm and then bring the hand down. Okay. We're going to walk around and repeat this on the other arm. So your book actually has palm down first, right? So it's pronated first, or is it supinated?
it's supinated.
Supinated? Okay. And it doesn't really matter. Yeah. So then we are following your book. Let's supinate the hand. It's good. And we'll do our compression. And then walking to the elbow. And then back to the shoulder and the wrist, and then back to the elbow again. High. And then both hands walking to the wrist. Take your left hand and press on the heel of the palm. Reach underneath the arm and go ahead and pull up right there at the wrist. A little bit of traction. And then you'll be walking the send line. So walking that send line, center of the arm, and then between the bicep and tricep. Okay. And then our final palm pressing. is going to be from the wrist, together with both hands, up to the shoulder, and then back to the wrist. Remembering that love story, that super romantic story. And then compressing and lifting. Okay. Interlacing our fingers, our pinkies go by their middle finger, our ring finger goes in the next space over. We're going to bring their hand down onto the mat so that we can go ahead and slide with our thumbs. Sliding. Did you want the shades open? Did you want that extra light? Okay. Okay. And then we can do little polka dot presses. And then turn the hand over and knead the hand, pressing your fingers into the palm. And then sliding off each of the fingers, if you want to. So then we're going to go ahead and bring the hand up like a mirror. Did we do the whole arm? We just finished it? I had a little moment where I was thinking about where I was practicing distraction and learning from the consequences of it. Did we do both sides on this, or did we just do one? We need to do the with the palm down. Okay, yeah. So we'll go ahead and compress at the shoulder and at the wrist. And then walk to the elbow. It's okay. Everything works out even when it doesn't, you know? And then walking to the shoulder and the wrist again, and then walking back down. Pressing on the dorsal surface of the hand and lifting up just a little bit of traction. And then that send line, right up the center of the forearm. And then at the elbow, aiming for that deltoid tuberosity. Okay. Aim for the center of the deltoid. If you can't find the tuberosity, just go for the center. And then walking back down. And then both hands together, walking from the wrist to the shoulder. A little stretch, and then we're going to go ahead and bend the elbow. Bring the hand up like a mirror. If you guys want in Thai massage, since we are on the table, you know, and off the table, you can sit down if you want to. And you can start that heel of the palm and slide out. And slide out the thumb and the pinky. Yeah. And then sliding again. Next two fingers. And then finally sliding up the center. Okay. With the elbow bent, bring their arm around, place their palm on the mat next to their ear with their fingertips out laterally. We're going to do just for a very, very short few seconds, a little stretch, pressing at the hip, And right there, back of the arm. And then we're going to bring their hand up. Most Westerners don't like the wrist to stay that way that long. You go to other countries and people are very comfortable with it, but we're very protective of our wrists in this, in this plane of motion. And I'm not sure why, but you guys have noticed, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. We're not moving our wrists in every direction, apparently. And so we've got a little bit of compensation, dysfunction going on. So because of that, we'll go ahead and support their cubital area, cubital crease over our thigh. And we're gonna go ahead and press with our left hand, pressing back of the arm. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go ahead and kind of jostle the arm, bring it down, get a little bit of traction, and then slide it off. Okay, let's come up to their shoulders and just do some compression, because this is pretty easy to add in. But go ahead and just use the heel of your palm and start on that either right or left side, whatever you're drawn to. And you could even support with one hand right under that occiput, and with your other hand get very close to the neck where you feel some tension. Make sure that you're more posterior though, that you're behind that SCM. And we're gonna go ahead and lean our body weight into our thenar eminence and the heel of our palm and just kind of sink in. Just kind of providing a little bit of compression. Okay, what?
What's your right hand doing? Because your left hand's under the head like this.
Come over and see. Come over and see. Okay. So my left hand is holding right under occiput, and then the right hand's pushing. Let me show you on the other side. So right hand holding, left hand pushing. And then with all these movements, it really is like your hand is there and your whole body moves your hand into that compression. So it's not from your elbow, it's not from just your arm, it's stable. You get a fixed position. And the fixed position might be with a little bend in it. It also might be straight. But we're gonna move our body weight into that fixed position. Yeah. Yeah, feels good. Okay, and then you can do this kind of like back and forth, kind of the same way you'd feel like with yoga with walking the dog and downward dog or palming type stuff. It feels so good. Just loosening this area. Okay. And then let's take our right hand and slide up so that we're holding and supporting like this, cradling that occiput. And let's go ahead and roll their head to the side. Take your left fingertips and start down by C7. And you're going to go ahead and right by C7 in that lamina groove. And you want to get the lamina groove and the erector spinae musculature really close to the spine. It's super important because this is where we free up impingement from where we first are accessing the peripheral nervous system. You know, it's like right out the gate. So it's really important going from central to peripheral to free up these lines. So we're gonna go ahead and press in right by C7 and then just kind of roll their head very gently towards the left side, increasing that pressure. You may even want to like push your fingertips up a little more. Super important that your left arm is supported on the mat. And your fingers will eventually get strong. This isn't gonna hurt you, it's gonna help you. I know from almost 30 years and then watching the other therapists that have careers where they've sustained it their entire life, you know? So pressing up and rolling their head onto that. And if it feels like there's a little too movement, if you're sensing that from them, you'll want to pause and give them a moment of stillness and just keep that compression going. There are definitely similarities between a lot of the Thai massage things and cranial sacral therapy that we do, myofascial release. It's like the original sports massage. It has all of those components in it, you know? So work with your client and what you feel, just moving incrementally from C7, staying on the erector spinae musculature and that lamina groove, and moving up towards the occiput. Holding with stillness when you feel intuitively that that's a better choice for them, and working with movement when you can kind of feel that that's more appropriate for them. Okay. And if you want to, you can also hold with your left hand, and you can bring your fingertips across onto the left side, and you can also press in that lamina groove. And it's really similar, but it's a slightly different feeling. And you can roll to the right side. Do you feel that's a very subtle difference? But it is a little difference. Yeah. So working on that same side, but just switching which fingers you're using. And now that rolling comes from, let's let that fall off, the face cradle. The rolling comes from your left hand. Okay. All right. And if you feel some tension, like I do right there on you, you can go down to it. You could even apply, like I feel some tension right here by C7, the erector spinae musculature. So I'm going to apply a little bit of compression to the pecs and work that area, the erector spinae at the same time. Yeah, and that's beautiful too. It's beautiful what you're doing.
Yeah, I want to learn all that.
Her martial arts training, and also just your love of this, your it's so beautiful. Yeah, it comes natural, but it's also something that can be taught. So it's so great that you have it naturally, and I also think that you may want to teach at some point because it's amazing. I love watching you Samantha. All right, so let's go ahead and do this on the other side. So go ahead and hold the occipital ridge, just gently hold it with your left hand, and then take your right fingertips and start by C7. Did you already do it? Okay. Pressing and rolling. So people like it when we actually don't rush through it and when we spend the extra time. They like it like.
It's a little hard for me because the table's
oh really?
too high.
Oh, the table's too high. Okay. The thing about it's funny. So I understand where you're coming from. It's totally different, but it is kind of like the funny idea of all done, fastest massage therapist in the world. You know, like.
Yeah, no, I practiced on both sides with my kid.
Okay, awesome. But you get it. You get it. Yeah.
Yes.
You may want to take a moment right now and just lower your table. Like while we're.
I could. I was gonna have to leave for like this minute.
Okay.
Ashley's gonna.
Oh, take over. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so rolling. Pressing and rolling. Is that pressure okay? Yeah. You okay with your headband coming off?
Yeah, just slowly making it.
Face cradle falls off, the headband comes off. All right, go ahead and switch hands, and we're gonna press, we're gonna hold occipital ridge with our right hand and press with our fingers coming across so they'll be on the opposite side of the spine. You're gonna be on the client's right side, but crossed over. And then rolling. Okay, on the table, we're not going to do a lot in side position because we can also just have them face down, you know, so it's kind of nice. But we'll do a little bit of stretching. So now we're going to move into some of our stretches. And let's go ahead and let's hold on, just be facing me for this. So I'm on her right side right now. So I'm pulling under the popliteal space and at the heel. And I'm gonna go ahead and step over with my foot. And you want your table low enough you can do that, so it's kind of hard. And then I'm gonna support right here at the shoulder and just bring the leg over. Okay. And if you want to, you could also do the stretch. So you bring their leg over and you're blocking on this side. And so I would probably put my left leg right here by the foot to support it. And then just bring her over. And does that feel a little bit safer?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. Because then you're blocking them. And then you can also reach around with both your hands and just kind of do a little bit of stretching that low back. Yeah. So I've got one hand on the table and then one hand at her low back, just pulling her towards me. And I'll just kind of walk up with that right hand. And do you feel like you're not going to fall off? Do you feel safe enough? Okay. So onto that leg and traction as you bring it back. If you want to, there's not tons of room on these tables, so you could also have told your client to move into side position. We can also kind of roll them onto the side like this, bring their arm back behind us, support right here by their body so they can feel it, hold on to their hip, and then bring your knee to the center of that glute, and we can do this stretch where you bring them back and just kind of pull back. Just all these side position things with movement on a small table, they do have the potential of having your client feel a little bit vulnerable, you know? So 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. How do you feel with this? Do you feel safe? Like you're on? Okay, good. One, two, three, two, one. Yeah, looks good. All right, and then you can bring that knee up. Press it to the chest. And bring the leg down. Let's take the other leg, bring it up. Cross it over their body. Support by their foot. And we're gonna go ahead and bring them into a little stretch. And I think what I'll do with you is just hold here and just work with moving your body up, just so I can keep you supported and safe. But you're basically gonna need to block their body so they don't feel like they're rolling off the table. Does that feel okay? Are you getting a good stretch from that?
Yeah.
And then walking around, holding onto their leg. And then we're gonna kind of roll them to the side, bring our knee up to the center of the glute, and then bring them into that quad stretch, leaning back. Are you guys doing okay with this? Do you want me to come around and help you with this one? That looks good, Kaylee. Yeah, that's right, Ashley. Mm-hmm. So once you're in it, it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, the process. Rachel, do you feel okay with that, or does it feel too awkward?
I'm just not sure if I have my knee in the right place.
You do, but have your body, pivot your body so you're facing her foot and you're supporting up by her back. So move your foot, your standing foot, all the way up by almost her elbow.
Am I supposed to be on my back or my side?
You're kind of a combination. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And then we're gonna bring her back and then push her knee to her chest. Okay. How are you doing? Are you still doing okay?
Good. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna put our face cradles up.
Now it's getting cold in here.
I know, it's crazy, huh? It's because I turned the air conditioning to 68. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're fine. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
recover.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you, Kaylee. See ya. Bye. Okay, so hopefully we all cleaned our face cradles. Very important thing to do. We'd want to have pillowcases or something normally for the face cradles, just a little more comfortable that way. But you can check and see if your client is okay lying with their face in vinyl. Right. Think about all the wonderful records that were made from this material.
That was so good. Yeah, okay.
Haven't had me turn over, yeah. You could use either, whatever's more comfortable. I'll let you guys get situated.
Oh, this is better.
Okay, so we're going to begin by just palm pressing the feet. So we're just going to palm press. So instead of walking on them because of the table versus the mat, we're just going to use our hands. And then we can also use our fists to kind of just walk. And then we're going to go ahead and just kind of press and rock. And if you want to use your knee, you can as well. So if you're more comfortable using your knee, you can do that. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Dividing the space that we're working on into thirds. Okay. Which is really, by knee, I actually don't mean knee, I mean your tibia. You know.
And you're just kind of pressing down.
Pressing down and rocking.
But you're not using the foot to add extra pressure. It's just kind of just movement.
It's just movement. It's just movement. And you are, if you press in, you can feel that you are moving the muscles. Anytime you're moving the joint like that, you're moving the muscles under where you're working. Can you guys feel that as you move that joint around? Yeah. So use your hand then, or just either have your table down lower, or you could use your hand.
Can you do it like the forearm?
You can use your forearm if you feel comfortable, if you can use good body mechanics for it. So you need to be in a little bit of a lunge. It's the principle, you can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. You can have, I mean that in a general sense, but also in the sense of some things are lost by doing this on the table, and some things are gained, you know, with what's accessible to us. All right, so next we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring their leg down. We'll cross the leg that is opposite, bend it, and then bring that foot across the popliteal space and bring them into that bind. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and place our knee. So we're going to turn and kind of face their foot just a little bit. And then place your knee that's closest, because we're working different sides here. And you're going to support the dorsal surface of their foot with your hand. Reach with your other hand, scoop under the knee, and then lean towards their head. Yeah, lifting.
Table higher than I had mine.
Yeah.
So I'm like, would you use like?
You could use your elbow. If you wanted to use your elbow, you definitely could. So just be careful with your elbow, because we don't want that pointy, we don't want pointy pressure. So it would just be gentle and then just leaning to the side. So if you wanted to use your elbow, you definitely could. Okay. Yeah, so that's fine. All right. Let's go and bring them out of this. And then we can go ahead and, do you guys remember the John Travolta move? So we're gonna go ahead and place, so we're gonna actually be looking towards our client's head. And we're going to slide our leg that's closest to them underneath their thigh, and then bring their lower leg down. And we can do our presses here. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Bringing our body weight into our forearms. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And I'm using the blade edge of my arm. I'm using that ulnar part. The ulnar, I'm using the ulna to press in. And then we're going to be rolling. So from supination with our hands, from pronation to supination, you're going to have more strength in that roll. And then coming back. And then your tight chopping. Okay, good, and lift their leg up and gracefully move out. That movement. We'll come around to the other foot, and the other leg, and do the same thing. So we'll traction, and then bend their knee, and then you could use your forearm, you can use your tibia, you could use your fist or your palm. And we're just going to be bending and extending the leg as we apply presses, compressions. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And you could also just compress there while you move that leg around. Do you feel how that moves? The hamstrings, the musculature. So kind of play with the idea and see if you can feel that. Feel the way the muscles are massaged underneath your hand just from moving their lower leg. Okay, bring their leg down. Opposite leg, bring out into figure 4. Cross the foot over, placing in the popliteal space. Pivot around so you're facing their foot. Take your knee this closest to them or your elbow. And we're going to support the foot, reach underneath, scooping underneath the knee, and then leaning towards their head. Okay. And then slowly releasing. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and kneel with one leg on the table, facing out, lateral away from them. And we're going to be sliding this leg underneath their thigh. So we'll place one hand across from them, lift, and we're going to slide, supporting their thigh. Bring their leg down, and we'll start our compressions. So just pressing one. Yeah, perfect, beautiful. Looks right. It looks right.
Maybe like.
Yeah, just support it. Just move your body to support them. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. And then we're going to go ahead and roll from pronation to supination. Pronation to supination. Okay. And then our tight chopping. Nice. Good. Okay. And then lift their leg up, slide out. Okay, so we're going to work on the back, kneeling on the client's gluteal fold. I know, I love this one. It actually feels so good. So we're going to need to do this. We're going to need to do this pretty gracefully. So we're going to take one leg up and make sure that you get in position with that leg. So you want to be there with two presses and you're there. So we're going to bring our leg around and make sure your knee is right there in that gluteal fold, and then your other knee, and then we're going to go ahead and start walking. We don't want to feel a lot of shuffling around on the table. So then palm press walking. Do you want more or less pressure?
No, perfect.
Okay. So spend a little time here with compression. Can you guys see it's pretty easy to move this to the table?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you add in all the other massage things you know, knowing that it's still just massage, you know, you have a lot that you can do. Let me know if I'm doing too much, okay? Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and bring our client's arms back, have them hold onto our wrists. So Lauren, go ahead and hold onto my wrists. And then we're going to let them know that we're moving them up into a stretch. Otherwise, this can be a little bit of a surprise. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to be pulling you up to give you a little stretch for your low back. So we go ahead and keep our arms straight and then just lean back. Stretch. And then we're going to bring them back down. We'll do this 1 to 3 times. You can go slightly to the right side by pulling on that right arm. It feels great and it looks totally weird, you know? Riding the dolphin. And it's a little bit scary, right, in this world because anything you put out there, there's like room for all these people that like want to catch other people at, you know what I mean, or make fun of something or use. It's almost like just shame type stuff. And it's too bad, you know what I mean? It's too bad that there's that right now. Hopefully that trend will end and that all the people that do that will realize that that was not an intelligent comment, you know, and was also not helpful to anyone. So if you guys want to do a little bit more compression. And that everything looks like something else. But through awareness and critical thinking and just accessing a little bit of your intelligence, you can see the difference. All right. Because Thai massage also looks like some really great 1980s, like height of popularity wrestling moves. But those little subtle differences matter. It matters if you're lifting your client by their shoulders versus lifting them by their neck. These little things matter, you know? And they look very similar, and they're very different. Okay. All right, so now we can step down. So support yourself with your hand on the table. Step down, 1, 2. And we can do, you don't want to, if you feel like your hands are getting a little bit tired, we can use our forearms and just kind of go across the body and sink into that lamina groove with your elbows, and then use your forearm for the rest of the body over the ribs, the lats. And we can begin just kind of pressing and rolling. By the shoulder blade, we can kind of contour right in there. And then we can use the back of our arm to get up by the upper trapezius and traction that area down. Okay. Walk around to the other side. Is that pressure okay? And do the same thing. Hooking in right there by the SI joint, that iliac crest. And then just working with our forearms, relaxing our bodies into this so that it's sustainable for us.
And you're just working on the one side of these.
Yeah, just one side at a time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just giving your hands a little break because that compression can be kind of intense for your wrists that we just did. When in doubt, work slower. You know, it actually feels amazing to your client and it gives their brain time to process the work and to soften their body, relax, disengage holding patterns. Up by the upper trapezius, we can hook in. While you're here, if you want to, we can also use our fists in the glutes, and we can do a little bit of movement with the legs. And even kind of feel for what's going on with the hips right there. So working all along that bony landmark and kind of using the leg to access different areas. So I'm pressing just under the iliac crest, all around by the hips, that gluteus, medius, and minimus area. And working with movement with the leg to get to different parts of that musculature. Is that okay, Lauren? Okay. Move to the other. I don't like the face curl for lashes either. That's hard. The face down is hard. You can turn your head to the side if it's more comfortable. And then just working all around by the SI joint and all around by the iliac crest as we go around. Try working with your elbow, your fingers, your fist. Try your different tools and see what works best for the person you're working with. Okay, and then let's do a little bit of cross stretch. So compression with a little bit of a stretch on either side of the spine. One hand low, one hand high. And so it's time massage, so now we're going to move them into seated position. So we're going to have our client go ahead and sit up. So I'll have you go ahead and sit up. And we can either have them cross-legged on the table, or we can put a chair under their feet. But if they're just sitting on the table with their legs draped over for very long, it's going to put a lot of pressure on their low back. And so you either want to have a chair, so you could try that and feel that. Yeah, so either a chair or cross-legged, but feel if your legs were just like off the edge. Go ahead and bring your legs down. Feel how eventually it would start hurting your back. You know what I mean? Like it'll create a lot of tension.
Yeah, definitely more comfortable with the chair.
You can sit cross-legged, right? Yeah. Okay. So if you guys want another chair right here, cross-legged though, if they can do it, is the best. Okay. Okay, so we can start. We're going to kneel behind them, or if our table is low enough, we can stand. And we're going to go ahead and take our forearms and just compress down. And we may even want to kind of hold with one hand by the occiput and just kind of find some places to sink into. You can have them bring their chin to their chest. And we can either use our thumbs, or we could use our elbows if we want to kind of sink in. We could also encourage our client just to go ahead and kind of move their head around any way they feel, move it nice and slow, and just kind of feel what it's like when they feel that fascial pull when they stretch away from where you're pressing. And then we'll do this on the other side. So I'm gonna have you bring your ear to your shoulder. We'll try this on the other side. This side has a little bit more, huh? I think the leverage you get on truly being on the mat and being able to stand is a lot easier than here on the table.
Sit in a chair for
You
this
could,
portion?
you could have him sit in a chair. Yeah, you could have him just move into a chair.
Because he's taller than me.
Yeah, so why don't you have him, go ahead and try that. Go ahead and try that.
Just like here.
I'm gonna have Lauren just keep moving her head so she can feel how you work those muscles through the movement. Wind. Yeah, if you want to try having your client just move into the chair, you can do that as well. Go ahead and move your head away from where I'm pressing. Good job. We don't really have a saying for that. Blessings.
Excuse me, yes, I do.
I know, like.
I'm just like, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm not sick, they're just allergies.
None of us can guarantee that we're not sick, for sure, apparently. We might as well not even say it anymore. Because if you think you are, don't be here. And we love you, and when you feel well, we welcome you back. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and stand on one side of our client with our elbow that is closest to their body. We're gonna go ahead and press in right here at the upper trapezius. And then with our hand that is a little further from the body, we're gonna press on those triceps and bring them towards us. We wanna really feel a stretch. So you want to have the compression, the pressing, and the stretch happening together, okay? That movement together. Yeah, good. And then find another space where you can put your elbow into between the shoulder blades and the spine, so in that rhomboid area. But you also have the trapezius, and you also have a little bit of the erector spinae musculature in there. And you might want to even move down a little bit below that scapula. Okay, and then coming back up. And then go ahead and just compress. You can drop the arm down, just holding the hand. Okay, and let's do this on the other side. You guys look great. So we're gonna reach underneath the fingertips. And you guys remember this from class? Yeah. Pressing in and then bringing their arm towards us. You guys know this really well. I have not had to give very much instruction at all. Like, you guys know it. It's really cool. Yeah. It was like, I know, it was a week ago, yeah. And then pressing in, pulling. Is that too much, Lauren? Okay. And then moving to another spot, a little bit lower. And then moving back. And letting their arm come down, just gently supporting it with your hand and just finding some places where they have tension. Okay. All right, you can bring their hand down. So now we're going to interlace our fingers and we're going to go ahead and just cup around the back of their neck. By C7, get that musculature. And we can even kind of tip their head down, just gently suggest it. Okay. And we're gonna go ahead and squeeze. Making sure the pressure's okay. Is that okay? Okay. Do you want more? Okay. Do you want less? Okay. And then moving up a little bit. And we're gonna make our way all the way up to the occipital ridge, okay? The deeper you press, the more you relax. The more you relax your shoulders, the more you can relax everything except for that one point of pressure. Yeah. and then coming back. Blessings. Blessings to you as well. Aw, that's sweet. There was a time when we were scared, when even one cough would leave us running. All right. So if you guys want to, this is kind of nice one to do. If you bring, so go ahead and stand on your client's right side and place your left foot behind them, kind of supporting their back, and then actually move your leg out a little bit because you want to support the back of your arm. So we're going to support our arm, our elbow with our leg and keep it stable there. And then we're going to cup our right hand around the front of their shoulders, and we're going to go ahead and press back and push forward. Your left hand's going to be cupped right where the rhomboids are. So you're going to be right around that shoulder blade. And we're just going to gently just bring their shoulder back and just kind of jostle a little bit. I'll come around and show you guys. Yeah. So that you're stable. Yeah. And your hand just stays there, and then you bring back.
Probably need to leave at 7.
Okay. That was perfect because you know what? We're done.
Are we? Well, there you go.
Okay, so go ahead and press in. Push back. Nice, Wendy, that's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. If you want to do the movement that Wendy's doing, you can have your client interlace their fingers and bring one leg up. You're gonna press on their thigh and just bring them to the side, and make sure your microphone that you use in your massage session is out of the way. And then go ahead and just gently bring them to the side, and you could even compress right here on their thigh. So just be creative about how you're going to support them. So some bodies you would be using your hand. Some people it's going to be easier just to use the back of your arm, you know. And then we'll come to the other side. A little stretch, or we can use the back of our arm. That looks beautiful. It's great. Okay. If you guys want, you did not learn this one in your class. They do it in Thailand all the time. We have to be very careful with this one so that we're not moving into chiropractic stuff. But in Thailand, they don't have that same restriction, you know? And chiropractic stuff would be we're doing a oscillation that's too fast instead of a stretch. It's like a little bit of gray area, but it's where it crosses over, you know? And so we don't want anything to be like too rapid and too fast. So, but this movement in Thailand is rapid and it is fast. So we'll have Lauren go ahead and interlace her fingers. And yeah, this one's nice. And we can go ahead and bring our foot over in front of them. We're gonna weave our fingertips around and through their forearms. And then we're gonna bring their body down, and we're gonna just have them relax, relax, relax. And then we're gonna just have them twist to the side. Okay. All right. Are you okay?
Yeah. Got a couple good pops.
So it's okay for their back to adjust as long as that is not our goal. And because, you know, that's going to happen in massage all the time. And also as long as we're not doing a really fast oscillation. So this is standard issue Thai massage everywhere you go in Thailand to get this at the end. And if your low back is very, very tight, you oftentimes don't enjoy this move. You know? It's good for low back, but if someone has a really tight low back, this feels scary to them. All right, so let's just do some Thai chopping now. In the session, we can go down the arm. Hopefully this gives you a framework so that you can do table Thai massage, you know. There's so much more we can add to it, but it shows you kind of the way it goes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not that complicated. And then sweeping, bring that energy down. And then around. There's this video that's been circulating for years and years on YouTube and social media, and it's of it either makes fun of Eastern massage types, or I just saw it recently. They said every like inexpensive massage was the heading for it this time, but it's basically like this lady that's doing everything weird that you can do in a massage. At one point she like hits the client, and then she takes the client. I know you really well, so can I do this to you? She's like, she's holding her from the front, and she's going in a circle like, oh, you know, like that type of stuff. And doing like pulling out energy, and at one point she like sucks, makes a sucking sound, and then like this retching sound, you know, just does all of it and goes from like love to like whacking her. And you know, there are similarities, but the little tiny differences matter. They matter.
For information on becoming a licensed massage therapist, visit zmc.edu. For information on continuing your education in massage therapy and bodywork, visit studyhealing.com. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe.